Welcome back to the Martin Take. I'm very excited. This is episode number 2 of our, song series, I guess, or artist series, where we've been talking about alternative music. Today we have me and Brendan along with it. So this episode, we have the Head and the Heart. Very excited about them. Brendan, you would say they're probably in your top 5?
Yeah, they're pretty high up. Listen to them for a long time, and yeah, put out lots of good music.
It's funny, the reason I know you kind of like them quite a bit, because back in the day, this has probably been 5-6 years ago, when I wasn't really into alternative music and you really were. These were one of the bands that you talked quite a bit about and kind of got me started on alternative music.
I would say I was bigger into them a couple years back, especially some of their older music, and they're still they keep, ever since their 2019 album. I'm very much interested in them.
So a little introduction for the Head and the Heart. American indie folk band would be the definition. Started in 2009 with Josiah Johnson and Jonathan Russell. They also have a couple other members with Charity Rose, Thielen, and Chris. I don't even know how to say his last name. Kenny Case. A couple more on the band there, but mainly, I guess it'd be mainly Jonathan Russell. I don't know if you looked at a whole lot, but Josiah Johnson, I guess he'd be a past member. I think it kind of started out with him.
Yeah, I just saw that he had left. I think partway through, I think after Signs of Light was recorded, but before they went on tour or something like that.
So I think it was sometime 2016, 2017. So a lot of their older music, their first 3 albums would have been with both of them as leading singers, and then the later stuff would have been just with Jonathan Russell. And it's kind of interesting to see in their music how that kind of comes out with a lot of their songs going to be more inspirational from Jonathan Russell. So that's great. A little bit of introduction on them. I would say out of every artist I've listened to, they have the most consistent, I guess, tone or songs. So basically, on 2 of my lists, I have 45 songs, and they only have a total of 63 songs. So basically, 75% of their songs are on my either liked list or favorite list. And because they don't really have any bad songs, they're all very consistently good. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Brendan, before we kind of jump into the list.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah, talking about the list, I had such a hard time. I was going through all their music, and I was I want to like every song, but I want to have some separation to actually be able to whittle it down. And it was, it's crazy. All their music's really good. And it's weird because you have I would say their first 2 albums kind of have a more similar sound with the more indie folk sound, and then Signs of Light is a little more in between, and then you get into their newer stuff, and it's a little more modern and pop sounding.
Right, but it's also more modern. I would say it's more modern alternative rock with their Living Mirage and Every Shade of Blue. Basically, Signs of Light is kind of the transition album, I would say. But also, just to plug in with that, good call. And so Every Shade of Blue, at the time recording this, today is April 30th. So Every Shade of Blue came out yesterday, actually. So some of our songs are on these lists, even though we only had a couple days. I went through the new album about 4 times in the last day. I don't know how many times you were able to get through it, Brendan.
Two or 3.
But yeah, okay, good. But definitely really good. We'll kind of jump into that a little bit later in the episode here. So, Brendan, what do you say if we jump into our top 5? I know we both went to a top 5, so I'm thinking today, I don't know about you, Brendan, I have mine ranked from 5th to 1st, and I have my favorite song.
I actually have a ranking this time.
Oh, nice. Cool. So let's go ahead and start with your number 5. We'll jump back and forth if we get to our favorites. It's going to be really interesting because they have so many good songs. I have literally 40 songs of my liked list and 5 of my favorites, and I honestly, it was the hardest to pick out 5 because I'm that's a really good song. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what we think about it. So go ahead and give me your 5th favorite song by them.
All right. So I went back and forth. I could probably swap out my 5th song. I picked 4 songs pretty quickly, and then the 5th song I could probably swap out with 10 different songs. But I ended up choosing Lost in My Mind.
Lost in My Mind. Okay, interesting. Start off real quick. I didn't even have that in my top 5. Let's see. Where did I have that? I had that at number 20.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know, it has kind of a gritty feel to it because he's talking about these different labor, manual labor jobs and tasks and all of that, and I don't know, it just works with me. So I just really like the sound, and and like the lyrics and stuff that go with it work really well.
No, it's a good song. It's definitely one of those things. I mean, like I said in the beginning, that I had it at number 20, but that could have just as easily been my 5th favorite song. Great song. I liked your take on it quite a bit. So cool. Let's jump into my number 5. I'm gonna be interesting to see because this is a little bit of a different one. It wasn't initially when I went through my initial playthrough of all the songs. I didn't have it in my top 10, and then it kind of moved up more and more. It's Dreamer. The song Dreamer. Yeah, it's B Wood from Signs of Light, that album.
Yep.
It's just really good. It basically starts out, call me a dreamer, heads in the clouds. What must go up always comes down. And it's a really good. This song, as far as I looked it up, couldn't find a whole lot of meaning from the artists themselves about what's the meaning. But it's just a really good rhythm of a song, and his voice is really steady throughout of it. And I don't have a whole lot on it, but basically it's one of those songs where you're just like sitting there, just like it's one of those songs I like listening to while I'm sitting on the couch just listening to music, and it's just one of those songs just like you just have like that vibe. I don't know how to, just like you sit there, your head's moving really like just a little bit, you're kind of like nodding with the song. It's a song if I'm sitting there just chilling. It's a song I'm listening to. It's just weird. Did you even have a short list? I don't think you had it on your short list.
I don't think I did, but I like that beginning of that song. Every time it starts, I'm like, I like this. And then, again, it's a mood thing for me. Like, do I hold that the whole way through the song? But like, if that song comes on, it's a good start at least.
Yeah, this startup is what I really love. Like, call me a dreamer, heads in the cloud, and it's like. And then he changed a little bit of octave change as it goes on, and that's my favorite. I love like some of their like alternative octave change is just really good.
Yep, I talk about those quite a bit with some of their stuff.
Yeah, they do really good. Their voice is one of my favorite. It's so soothing, so calm, but yet it's still powerful at the same time, and that's what you kind of get through the Dreamer from the beginner. Just like when we put in the inlay clip for this song, put in like the first little bit there, and you got to get a good feel what the song's actually about.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's a good song.
Yeah, cool. Not a whole lot on that one, but let's jump to your number 4.
Yep. So my number 4 is Glory of Music 2 from the middle of their Missed Connection album. Missed Connection.
Missed Connection is the song. I don't know if that's
what's the. Oh, Living Mirage. That's the album.
Yeah.
Title song. Yeah. Glory of Music has a great energy. And it kind of like I couldn't find for sure what they were trying to talk about, but I think from like looking at the lyrics and stuff, it kind of seems like to be a reflection on them as an artist. Like 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 being like, what do I have to offer? What am I actually doing? But like, I believe in music and music, and it's good energy. Just a really good one.
So I had that at number 6.
Okay, nice.
Also agree with 100% of what you're saying. I also was looking up some of the meanings for the song. Didn't have a whole lot. It's one of those songs that sometimes artists just put a song together and release it, and they just like the overall attitude. What I struggle a little bit with music is I typically don't listen to the words that much. So when I actually I'm doing something like this and researching a little bit more, I definitely pay attention a little bit more. But that's just a really good song. Glory of Music, really like it. But yeah, I had that at number 6, right just below Dreamer. I actually had it in my favorites list, but then since we're going up top 5, I dropped it down.
Yeah, I want to hear what your top. You said you had 9. And so I'm interested what the rest of those were. But I don't have much more to say on that. It's just really good sound.
Yeah. For my my first 2 songs on the list, I don't really have a whole lot. The last 3, I have quite a bit to talk about, so that's why we're kind of skimming through these first couple ones. But yeah, so at my number 4, I'm going to be interested to see if you have this one. I know this is a song we both have talked about in the past before, but it's Take a Walk.
Take a Walk? I don't know if I have that one on. I don't have that on my list. On my long list.
Really. Take a walk. Try to relax. It's not as bad as it gets. It's just to me, it's the exact same as Dreamer, right? It's the intro. It's just it's one of those songs where I'm just moving my head with the music, going a little bit, just vibing. I don't really have a whole lot on it. Again, these first 2 songs, I don't really have a whole lot because as far as I was looking it up, I couldn't find anything online that really has a whole lot talking about the song. but yeah, it's just really, really good. Try just basically the first take a walk, try to relax. It's not as bad as you think. Brush it off. She'll call in the morning. It's not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
So I guess it's maybe talking a little bit more about a relationship. Actually, it is talking about a relationship. You can get down to the bridge in the morning. My head is spinning from the evening. I try to erase you every morning. So yeah, definitely more of a relationship song. But again, what I like about the song is not necessarily the words. What I love about the song is just the rhythm and the rhyme through it, and just one of those songs just vibe a lot like Dreamer is. And I think the same thing for Dreamer too. It's one of those songs where the words don't speak too much to me. It's not really about the words I'm saying here. It's more about like the vibe, and the whole song vibe to me is kind of what I like about it.
Yeah, I would say it sounds a lot like Dreamer, and like there's both are of us. I mean that whole album I really like for that sound that it has, and like we were saying earlier, that whole album kind of feels like it's its own like kind of transition and stuff. But yeah,
cool. John, shoot me to your number 3.
Moving on to my number 3, it is City of Angels from Signs of Light.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Had that at number 14.
14
14 is where I had that at.
Yep. Again, like all of these, the energy is really good on them. City of Angels is talking about Los Angeles, the band, I think formed in Los Angeles. But yeah, like great sound, kind of an up tempo.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good song. Like I said, it's so weird because all their songs, my first 20 songs could either be my 5th favorite song or my 25th favorite song, just because they're all so good. Interesting. It's kind of interesting. So you're through your third song. I'm about to start on my third song here. And we've yet to have any crossover. I think I'm about 99% sure our favorite song is going to be the same. I think you might have this next one. So my third favorite song is Down in the Valley.
Yes, that's a great song.
Do you have it on your list at all?
It is coming up.
Okay. So you do have it on your list. Okay. So yeah, the little excerpt that I have here, Jonathan Russell portrays his perspective on life as that he has free will, but life is absurd and mundane. The opening line of this song, I wish I was a slave to an age-old trade. I just really love his voice in that, and just his whole thing in that. Really freaking good song. I don't really have a whole lot on it, but I think, well, actually, I can sum up the entire Head and the Heart, the entire artist. I can sum up to this. I love the vibe of each song gives to me. I don't know what it is, but every single song that they have, everything from Homecoming Heroes, to their newest album, so I Found Out, Honeybee, all People Have Need a Melody. All these songs just have such a phenomenal feel and a phenomenal vibe to them that I really enjoy. It's just one of those things that I don't know. And this is what Down in the Valley is. It's one of their older songs that just has a really good vibe. And if it's coming up for you, we can talk a little bit more down the road. But it's just a really, really good song that I love about it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I love that song. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a little bit. But first, we have to get to my number 2 song.
Shoot me your number 2.
All right, my number 2 should be on your list. Virginia.
Okay, so that's coming up for me as well.
Yeah, I'm guessing that'll be your number 1.
We'll see.
Yeah, Virginia's great. It's my favorite song from their newest album. And like a lot of times they'll release a track, like a title track for an album, and you'll hear it a bunch of times and you're like, okay, I'm kind of done with this now. I guess I'll listen to the rest of the album. But like this song has been good the whole way through.
Yeah.
And like it's one of these, like it took me a little bit to figure out what the lyrics meant, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of talking about that some of them came from Virginia and kind of their feel with that, and that's great. But like just I don't know, it has a little bit of the
cadence and the vibe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like the rhythm works. A lot of these songs like have some build up and then like some like let off and stuff like that, and I like that. But this song is just solid the whole way through. And like just like again, I didn't even think about these lyrics that much, but lyrics like "smoke in my lungs" and "whiskey burning in my veins," like come on,
yeah,
it's just great.
Mm-hmm. It's a good song, yeah, for sure. Nice, yeah. I have a lot more about that song I'll talk about in a minute here. So I'll jump to my number 2. So obviously, I know this song is not your number 1. I'm surprised it's not on your top 5, but it's "Misconnection."
It was on my list for sure. But that one kind of it would have been in my top 10. Song got overplayed for me, and so like I loved that song as that album was coming out, and then that one did wear off eventually.
Well, I think that was a lead song from that album, and I think it came out earlier, and it kind of people just overplayed it because it was really good when it came out.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was one of the songs where I agree. I did overplay it when it came out a couple years ago, and then I was listening to it again this last week or last couple weeks here as we were getting ready for this episode. It's really good. It just, if you actually like really listen, it's really good. Basically, short excerpt. It's basically Jonathan Russell meeting his girlfriend, and it oddly mirrors. This is the article I was reading. Mirrors exactly what kind of the band, how they kind of formed. Is what this article was saying about it. Basically. I get this is gonna get kind of mundane, but what I like about the song, it has a really upbeat, really nice vibe to it. I mean, that's what I'm gonna say.
I noticed like listening to other music, I thought of them like because they're kind of indie folk, especially in their earlier albums. That like a lot of the indie folk is slower and almost like kind of moody and like kind of downcast. But like a lot of their songs like just have really good rhythm and are kind of upbeat, even if the lyrics aren't like super upbeat.
And this song right here, is upbeat. Yeah, exactly. And this song right there, and that's what I love about it, because it is upbeat. And a lot of like Down in the Valley, my previous song, a little bit slower, a little bit more folky, a little bit not quite as upbeat. But Misconnection is the more upbeat song, where it's higher, just a quicker song. It's more upbeat or whatever, and a little bit more happy, which is fine. But I do like their other slower songs quite a bit. Great song, great long. It can get overplayed. I do agree with that. I think when it came out, it did get overplayed. Exactly what you're saying, but still a great song. So cool. We have 2 more songs left. We have your number one, which ironically both are number ones. It's been on the other person's list at different places. So go ahead and give me your song.
Yep, number one, Down in the Valley, first album. That's an iconic one for me because again, like when I first listened to them, it was just their like first 2 albums is what I had really heard. And like one of the first times I heard this song, like again, like some of the. I wasn't even sure what the lyrics were really saying, but just the sound of the lyrics was great. Like naming off all these states and like whiskey rivers, and I don't know. Just it's a really great sound.
It is funny when we both started when you were getting into the head and the heart, and it was kind of drawing me in. Only 2 albums were out, so these other 3 albums have come out since we started listening to them quite a bit. So it definitely is one of those songs, and I like that you mentioned it because same thing for me too. It's just like one of the OG songs. You like you reminisce almost when you listen to it because it's been that long.
Yeah, exactly. And like again, this song, it has like some of the simpler sound, and it resonates well with me just because it's talking about him wishing for like not necessarily simpler times, but for a simpler like work, like just being able to wake up and what you're doing to do. It's physical labor, like. Like you can see what results. Like it's just, that more like reminiscent of of simpler times and stuff like that. It resonates really well with me. I mean, he has some like more interesting lyrics, like getting like talking about being like kind of pulled back to a place of like it has a lot of the lyrics are talking about him like pulling back and like feeling in a low place, and that's kind of what like the lines about whiskey rivers. Like that's the places you'll find me hiding. Like that's some of the deeper meaning that's going on underneath there. But it just the song it's great.
Great song. Great song for sure. Interesting. It doesn't surprise me you put that your number one. Like I had it at my number 3. But definitely a great song. Love it a lot. So cool. All right. Well, we already know my number one. Obviously, it's number 1. It's Virginia, Wind in the Night. A lot of things about the song. It was the second song that was released on their latest album here that got released yesterday, which this song's been out for about 2 months, I think. I think the first Every Shade of Blue came out in January. I think this one came out late January, February, so it's been about 2 or 3 months it's been out. Everything about the song. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of things. It's just the beat, rhythm, song of it has a great chorus. Love all of it. Talking about, so basically, Jonathan Russell gave it 2 neat meanings. So the song is called Virginia, in parentheses, Wind in the Night. And it's talking about him coming from Virginia, being born in Virginia. But then he also realizes not everyone's from Virginia. So that's why he kind of gave the second name. Part of the reason why I like it so much, I was born in Virginia. I'm from Virginia. I didn't live there very long, but definitely I have my grandma lives there and a bunch of my uncles and aunts. So not that I feel like it's home for me by any means. I've lived in Pennsylvania literally 95% of my life, but it definitely has that connection, I feel, to me a little bit. And I'm not that sentimental of a person, but it is pretty cool. And there's just a lot of things. And that's just, drawing conclusions from his life with that. It's one of those songs I could just sit there and listen to. It's like, yes, this is a great song. I have down like the section that I love the most is from 43 to 53. That range there. Yeah, I just love the song so much. It has the upbeatness of Missed Connection, that same vibe, with like the feels of Down in the Valley, because Down in the Valley is really good feels. Rivers and Roads, there's 3 songs that have you get you like not in the feels but really good. It's Down in the Valley, Rivers and Roads, Cats and Dogs.
Yeah.
And those 3 songs just put you in a very specific mood. And then also, so that's kind of like not a downer, but also just kind of puts you in the right mood. And then you have Missed Connections, which is more of an upbeat, faster paced song. And for me, where Virginia Wind in the Night, it combines those 4 songs, 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, and brings it together to like the masterpiece of a song that's just upbeat, rhymes well, flows well, just great all around. I didn't know I was this passionate about the song, but I guess I am. Dude, honestly, it goes in my top 15 all time. I honestly would put it that high. And I listen to a lot of music, but I really love this song.
Yeah, I totally agree. Great song and very
and you
worthy
had
of
that
my number 1. It was my number 2
yeah.
because I've had such a history with Down in the Valley.
Yeah. And this song hasn't been out that long too, so who knows what might happen. If it might become like Missed Connections and get overplayed, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I hope not too. Cool. Well, that kind of wraps up our top 5. So a couple of things we're gonna do from here and out. I want to get give me your next 10 songs, and I'll give you mine. Just hold on a second, we'll get to that. I want to get your next 10 songs, so like basically 5 through 15.
Okay, so I have a total of 19 songs that included my top 5. I'm just gonna rattle those off.
Yeah, go for
it. I
it.
haven't really ordered beyond this. So I have Let's Be Still, and Gone, and Fire and Fear, and again, like all these songs, like there's so many more I could have put on, so like they're a little bit random. Missed Connection, Brenda, I really like. That's a good song.
Yeah, that's a good song.
I Found Out. Every Shade of Blue, I really like that song.
Yeah.
Same with all from that new album, Enemy Lines, Hurts But It Goes Away.
I had both of those. Yeah.
Yep. And then from their first album, Rivers and Roads, could have almost made it onto my top 5. Really like that one. Honeycomb Home is good. And then I did just sneak one in from their Stinson Sessions album.
Oh, okay.
And that's the song In the Summertime, because I'm pretty sure that's the only place they have it. But that's a good song too. So yeah.
Nice. Wow, that's a good list. I had a lot of similar ones. Glory of Music, that was my number 6, like we talked about. Rivers and Roads, Cats and Dogs, Tiebreaker. That was a second or third song from their newest album. Gone, People Need a Melody. That's a great song. People Need a Melody is a really good. People need a melody to open their eyes. You know how that goes. Honeybee, I Found Out, All We Ever Knew, City of Angels, Lost in My Mind, Sounds Like a Hallelujah. Taking My Time. That's kind of not a commonly played. Enemy Lines, and then Hurts But It Goes Away. The newest albums I really liked. And again, I only got to listen to the new album like 3 or 4 times. I went through like 3.5 times. So it's kind of hard to get a good feel for what the album actually is, but we're not going it through that much. But definitely really, really good album.
So, should we do our top album, or I want to hear your take on the new album sometime here?
So basically that's what I was going to do.